Hey, visionaries! You are now tuned in to the Starts with a Vision podcast, where everything you do in life starts with a vision. If your vision is clear or foggy, you are in the right place. It's time to go take what's yours, because there's a vision only you can see, and a dream only you can dream. And now, your host, Mr. Starts with a Vision.
What's the word? It is Mr. Starts with a Vision, Mr. SWAV. And I want to say thank you for tuning in to another episode. Thank you for tuning in. Today's episode is going to be amazing. It's going to be fire because we have Shayla Smart on the line. And Shayla is a coach, but she's going to teach you how to go from Periscope all the way to selling high ticket things, right? She's made a ridiculous amount of money in a few months, right? And I know people say that, but she really did it. And she's going to give you the sauce. She's going to give you the blueprint on exactly what she did and how you can do it. And we're talking to her story as well. She's been through a lot of things and she's really been able to overcome them. So tune in to today's episode. Enjoy today's episode because it's going to be fire. What's going on, everybody? This your boy, Mr. Starts with a Vision. You already know what time it is. Today, we got an all-star. We got somebody who's killing it. We got a superstar on the line. We got Shayla Smart. How you doing, Shayla?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing so good. It's a beautiful day. I'm in Dallas right now, and I'm loving life. I'm happy. I'm tired, though, but, everything is all well over here. How about yourself?
Everything's good. I'm on the same tired boat, but it's all good.
Right. I hear you on that. So we had a conversation. I think it's fascinating what you've been able to do with very minimal marketing budget, right, per se,
yes.
Because
yes.
you don't subscribe to the deity of I'm going to spend a whole bunch of money on marketing. So we gonna talk about this, right? We're gonna see how you made all this cash, all this Gouda, right? without spending all this marketing dollars, because a lot of people talk about that, they preach that and everything, and I think you are an example who has dispelled the myth per se. And I really want to, dive in. So, you are a coach. I got that. But, the coaching industry is big right now. There's a lot of people coaching. But what do you do as a coach so that we can kind of clarify that?
Yes. Well, I came out of the gate saying I want to help the newbies. If you've never launched a business, that's what I help you do. Mm-hmm. And that is true. But I have to be very careful and clarify what helping newbies means. Mm-hmm. So I am a coach. I have a lifestyle and consulting business. So that means I'm very big on the lifestyle piece of you living, being free, knowing that we get one life. I take that very seriously. And my claim to live the lifestyle that I want to live is by having a business that makes enough money to support my lifestyle. I was going to say expensive, but that's relative to the person. Right. My lifestyle. And so I want other women to know that it's very possible to make a whole lot of money and to have any and everything that you want in life. And I'm very subscribed to the you can have it all thing. I'm very rebellious on that point where people say you can have it all, but not at one time. And so I really believe you can have it all, and you can have it all at once if that's what you want. And I'm very big on teaching how to marry business and life together with ease. And so in that respect, I am a coach. Yeah.
Right. So how do you marry business and life together? Because I think that is the biggest question in today's age. Balance. How do I balance? I'm up at 9 p.m. writing a sales page, all this crazy stuff, right? How do you see that?
So it takes practice. Mm-hmm. It takes a vision.
Hey.
For what you want your life to look like. And it cannot be traditional to anyone else. I'm all about breaking traditions in many facets. So for me, I am a wife. I'm a mom of 2. Okay. I homeschool and I run 2 businesses. And that's just what happens inside of the house, right? Now, we still got to live, in the world. We got to go out and, whatever. I love my community. I love my church community. And so I put time and effort into that as well. And so there's a lot going on. But for me, I don't know if I so much call it balance, because I think that's where we get caught up. We try to say, oh, I'm trying to balance everything. And then just when you say that word out of your mouth, everything goes awry. So it's really about what's important to you. What are your priorities? I don't homeschool every day. We just kicked it off for this week, actually, and I've already missed 2 days. Terrible mom. But I don't think of it as being terrible, because at the end of the day, I have the flexibility in my schedule to do what I need. So if we need to bust down on a lesson at 7 in the evening, I can still get them what they need. And there's homeschool. I can still cook a meal if I choose, which I don't choose. But I can do that. But I can still have, for example, I joke, but the meal thing, I've learned that if there's something that I don't want to do, I don't have time to do, but it needs to happen, like dinner, we need to eat, then I'm going to go to a meal prep service, like Blue Apron or whoever, and have them deliver. So it cuts down on the time that I have to go shopping for that and, cutting up everything and putting things together. It's already done for me. So that cuts my 2 hours worth of cooking down to 30 minutes. So I can still have a balanced meal. I can still have dinner with my family, but it doesn't take me slaving in the kitchen for 2 hours. Right. And so it's really just about coordinating life with what you really want and what's important. And sometimes the things that we spend time on, they're really not important. We're doing them out of obligation. Me not taking my kids to school every day saves me so much time. That's not the only reason they're homeschooled, by the way, but it saves time. Like, we can literally roll out of the bed. We can do 2-3 hours of school for the day and we're done. And they have gotten every subject that they need to get that particular day. Right. So it's really just about what's important and coordinating it.
Okay. That's a good point. Very good point. And it's all about priorities. Big time.
Yes.
That's what I heard in that whole thing was the priorities.
Yes. Yep.
And as a busy mom, entrepreneur, and a wife, I know that priorities are like super high on your list of a priority. You have to make priorities a priority.
Right.
Yeah. So that's good stuff. And so this whole coaching thing you got going on, when did you and what made you say I want to be a coach? What were you doing before coaching? I saw them eyes roll, so I know it's going to be a good story.
So I have been online, and when I say online, I mean online doing some type of I'm in business since 2009, but I always say 2011 because that's when I got serious. And what happened was I was looking for a work at home job. I was working corporate America just like anybody else. I've worked at every job you could think of, from fast food to the banking industry to healthcare to the major hospitals. I've done it all. And so when I started, I had my first daughter and I got really, really sick in the first 2 or 3 months of my pregnancy. And it was hard for me to go to work. Like, I just had this morning sickness that was on a 30. And so I ended up taking short-term disability and staying home. I was working for a very good cell phone company at a good job. And it was like, I can't go back. So what do you do? And so I started looking for work at home once I had her, and they offered me to come back to work. And I was like, I can't leave my baby. Now, mind you, I had a husband that worked daytime. He would be home in the evenings and I could go, but I just wasn't going to do it. I just didn't feel like missing her first steps and her whatever. And so I started looking for work at home, got scammed a couple of times, couldn't find anything legit. And after about the third time of me sending money to somebody and them sending me nothing, or either like a CD on how to do the next thing to send more money, I was like, this is not going to work. I got to figure out how I can really get work from home because I know it's out there. And so I finally found a work from home job that was legit. And I couldn't work the schedule. The hours didn't match up the time that I had to kind of put my daughter over here with dad, and me run and get in the walk-in closet where it was quiet so I could work. And I was like, I found something, but the hours don't work. And so I kept searching. And by this time now, I've seen every work at home job that's out there. And I was like, well, hey, there has to be other moms, other women, other people that want to be able to work from home and haven't been able to because they've gotten scammed like me. And so I researched more and just started to compile this list of legit jobs. And that was actually the first money that I made online, was selling a list It was like 38 pages of work at home jobs. And I put the list together for myself and just kind of from researching. But then when I started to say, hey, are you looking to work from home online on Facebook? People were like, hey, yeah. And I was like, well, the list is $10. And it sold like hotcakes. I remember sitting at the dining room table. I had my tablet, my cell phone, and my laptop all up. Mm-hmm. And the notifications for PayPal just kept going off for this $10 book of work at home jobs. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is hot. Right. And it went from that to, well, what else do you know how to do? And so that's back when the extreme couponing thing was really big. Ooh. And people wanted to learn how to coupon. And I just knew how to do it. I would record it on YouTube or my receipts and this great shopping trip with all this stuff that I got for little to nothing. And it just turned into this thing. And so then I started consulting, teaching people how to coupon. And I didn't know I was consulting at the time. I just knew I was teaching something. I was good at teaching people. I'm able to get people to understand things really well. And I have the patience to do so. And so I started teaching couponing. And people were paying me like $75 for 2 hours. And I thought, I am a millionaire. That was the best money ever. And it was so funny because I was just a mom at home looking to make some extra money. And I went from looking for work at home to actually teaching people how to work at home, mm-hmm. and then teaching people how to use another skill and then how to take that skill and teach it. And people were paying me to do it. And I was just taken aback. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And so then I started to find out more about coaching as a thing. And I was like, well, I'm already doing that. But then I knew that there were other facets like life coaching, mindset, business. And so I got into life coaching. Let's just say that didn't last too long. People mm-hmm. have issues. Mm-hmm. We all do. Right. And so that was kind of my introduction into that world.
Dang. So look, I love that story because that's like the textbook. Mom was at home or wife was at home just, doing something and she put it online. Like you didn't say like, I was in corporate and I just turned that skill into a business. No, you just said, I'm going to help some people find out how to find a job at home. Like, and then couponing, like I love that. And that turns into this.
Yes.
Right. Okay, cool. And so, you've recently, had a really big success, if you will, right?
Yes.
If we must say. Talk about that a little bit.
Yes. So once I realized that life coaching wasn't for me, although let's just be clear, any type of coaching you do, I don't see how you get around life coaching to some degree. Even if you're a business coach, it comes up. Even if you're whatever kind of coach or consult, it just kind of comes up because life and business for me go together. You can't have one without the other if you're doing business. And so I did life coaching for a little bit, and I was just like, it felt so draining. And I think at the time I just didn't know how to place the emotions, because you definitely take on other emotions when you're life coaching. Mm-hmm. And it was just like, oh my gosh, this is draining and people don't really want to change. And it was just so much dramatic. And so I kind of eased out of that. But since 2011, and we're talking now, we're somewhere about 2015-ish, 14-ish. And so since 2011, I had still been doing stuff online here or there. I even ended up having a gift basket business, like an actual physical product business. Mm-hmm. Did really well, to my surprise, because I don't consider myself artistic at all. But it did really well. And I did it for a year, but I wasn't passionate about it. So I was like, I'm not going to keep pressing it, even though I was making money and doing well. And so I just kind of went back to, what do you want to do? That whole, I got to find my purpose thing. Mm-hmm. And it was coaching, and it was life coaching at the time. And then after I did that, I knew I wanted to go back to that whole work at home thing, but I wanted to put a spin on it. And so I was like, well, what can I do? And so I started to create this kind of online, non-traditional school for learn how to do like affiliate marketing, little things like that. Mm-hmm. So it was moving towards the business piece. Didn't know it at the time. And that business completely failed. Mm-hmm. I mean, I had people I was paying to help run the business. By now, I was working from home for a company, and it just was going downhill. And I saw it. It was like slow motion train wreck. You see the train turning over and you're crashing. Right. But you don't do anything. You're just kind of in shock, like, how could this be happening? I put everything into this, including money. Right. Why is this business not working? And I still to this day believe it was a good business. I've since rebirthed it and flipped it, and it works now. But At the time, it just didn't come together. Well, right about that time, this was December 2014. Right at that time, I got the diagnosis of my son, Jeremiah, that he was going to be born with a condition called anencephaly, which basically is in the spina bifida family. And it just means that the process that happens when you're about 3 weeks pregnant, before you even know you're pregnant, where the head and the spine meet, didn't form properly. And I find this out, I was about 5 months, right at my 5th month of pregnancy, and that there's nothing anybody can do about it. So basically, he was going to be born. We didn't know how long he was going to live. Business failing, baby gonna die. That was my life. That was my story. And so I went through the pregnancy, kind of didn't do anything with business. This is going into 2014 going into 2015. He was born May of 2015, lived 7 beautiful days, still my angel, my miracle. And so after all of that kind of process, I was like, what do you want to do with your life now?
Right.
This is not all for naught. Like, you don't lose a baby and just, some people don't survive that. They don't come back. Some marriages don't survive that. Right. It's just a wait. And mind you, I have 2 other little girls who at the time were like 6 and 9-ish. And so now I got to tell my children that your brothers, that whole thing. And so that happened, and I just kind of came to a place in life. I was like, well, what do you want to do? How do you want to change the world? Because I believe I have the power to do so. And it was just like, I really like doing business, and I really like coaching and teaching other women how to have that freedom to control at least that piece, because that whole losing my child, I had no control over it. Right. So what do I control? And it was, you can create a business and you can help other women do the same. And so that's what I did. And I just kind of was like, I put my blinders on. I had been up and down in business those years, and I was like, this is going to work. I didn't come into it saying I'm going to make 6 figures, because I heard that, but I didn't really I don't think that it was possible, but I knew that I was going to make more money than I've ever made, and it was going to work this time no matter what. Right. And about the end of September of 2016, I just kind of put my head down and I just started doing what I learned over all these years, and just start putting it together. And I knew one thing, if nothing else, was to be consistent. And so I'm going to go online for 90 days. I'm going to be consistent and just market. And I went on this little app called Periscope, and I was talking to myself because nobody was in my live stream. And I did that every day faithfully. And then slowly people would start to come in, 2 people, 3 people, 7 people. And I just did it every day like clockwork. I was on Periscope talking about work at home, because that's what I knew at that time that people, were into. And people would start to come in. And then soon I had hundreds of people in my audience. And then I was giving away free information. And this was really October. I started in September, but I was like, well, I'm not doing this right. Let me figure something else out. How can I tweak it? And so by about the 24th, close to Halloween, I remember that much, I was like, I'm going to sell something. But it wasn't on purpose. It was kind of like everybody was asking me for all these different tips and avenues to working from home. And I was like, well, I can't tell everybody everything at once. So how do I get this information out? And it was like, write an ebook. And I was like, I did this before. This list that I sold for $10, I'll do it again, but I'll put it in a book form. And I did that, and I made my first $400 in like 3 days from the time I offered it. They found out I knew about mystery shopping. And so I created a class for mystery shopping, and that sold. And I was just like, this is crazy. When I tell you I made my first $1,800 and I had a panic attack.
For real?
I was in tears, crying. I literally had to get in the bed that day and just turn off the lights and lay down, because to me, it was a lot of money. And it wasn't, the $1,800 was a lot of money. It was a lot of money happening because my PayPal was doing this all day, every day. And I was like, I'm selling a $10 ebook, and I think I bumped it to $20, and then I'm selling a $25 e-course, and it just kept going. And I made the first $1,800. It was a little over $1,800. I was like, this is it. Right. I don't see going backwards. And it was just $1,800. But that point solidified for me that this is going to work. And then I kind of tweaked and expanded the business from there. And I always knew I wanted to do the coaching on the business side, but I came in with what I knew, and that was work at home. And I always had a plan to split the business off. And so I still have my work at home business today. And then I started doing the coaching and consulting, started teaching business how to email marketing, the little stuff. And people just gravitated to it. And I was like, okay, now I'm going to sell a coaching package. And this is kind of one step at a time. And so that's how this business was birthed. And that's how I ended up with two businesses, which I do not recommend. But it's kind of, I came in with what I knew, but I always had a plan to bring the coaching and consulting on board once I had built an audience. Right. And so it just blew up from there.
Wow. And see, you ain't even done yet.
Right.
And you ain't even done yet. So from there, I remember we were talking a little bit. And you said it was less than a year, about 8 months, right? Was it 8 months, 9 months?
5 months, I did my first $100,000 in my coaching and consulting business. Yeah, so from October to about, March-ish. I did $100,000 in sales through the coaching and consulting business. I was still doing the digital products for the work at home, but just the coaching and consulting, I really focused because the digital thing, I knew I could do that with my eyes closed. Right. So I focused on the coaching and started selling packages and doing kind of one-off trainings. And it happened. And I knew it because I was tracking my numbers, and it was this whole thing going on. I did my first 10K in 45 days. And then my first 100,000 in just about 5 months, and it just went up from there. And then 7 months, I did 300,000, just a little over 300,000.
So 2 months after the 5.
Yes.
Let's just get that clear. Not another 7 months, but the 2 months after the initial 5. So really, in 7 months was 300K.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was all in the coaching and consulting.
Yes.
Okay. Now let me ask you this. This is what I'm about to ask. That's why you see me smiling, right? How much in marketing did you spend? And I'm not talking about energy.
The number, but I don't think I spent anything on marketing. I mean, in marketing as in Facebook ads, 0. I'm trying to think of something that I did because I want to tell the truth, but I can't even give you anything. Nothing.
So let's just say 5,000, right? Let's just say 5,000, right? Mm-hmm. So I see you over there smiling. So let's just say you spent $5,000.
Okay.
And you got 300 back.
Yeah.
That means that if I spend 10,000, I'm getting 600K back, right? Yeah. So, how in the hell? And this is the question that everybody wants to know: is there a magic button? Is there a magic audience? Is there a magic platform that nobody knows about? Like, how do you? And also talk about your packages. What are the price points? Because I want to illustrate this for people. How in the hell do you do 300K in 7 months without any marketing? Some people will say that's dangerous, that's not viable, all these different things. So how in the hell did you market yourself to get these receipts?
So, yes, my receipts. I was the market. I was the machine. I mean, I didn't know. I only did what I knew. And I didn't know how to do a Facebook ad. Like, to this day, I literally just ran a Facebook ad last night or 2 days ago. That ad flopped so bad. I don't know how to run a Facebook ad. I just don't. And so at that time, I didn't even try. I just got on Periscope and I used my knowledge of what I knew and that I knew people wanted to know about, and I talked to them about it. And I'm also very big on asking your audience what they want, and people will tell you without reservation what they want. And once they say, well, I want to know this or I want to know that, you go and create a solution to the problem that they're saying they have, which at that time was my ebook. And that ebook gave how to start working from home, companies that were hiring. And I had done this research over the years, so I had the knowledge, and I just put a product together, and that made money. And so I just showed up consistently, and let me just say with my face, live stream. And that was my marketing, because that's all I knew. I didn't know about Facebook ads as far as running them. I knew they existed, but they didn't matter to me because I didn't know how to use them. It wasn't about not having the money to do it. Although I came into the business, I didn't have money to put into marketing, but it wasn't because of that, because I could have found the money or did whatever if that's what I had to do, but I just didn't know anything about it to do it. So it wasn't that I was like, well, let me try to build this business with no Facebook marketing. That wasn't even on my radar.
Right.
I just came on the scene and said, I have some information that people want. I believed enough in myself that my information was good and that people wanted it. And I just came on with no expectation except for that I was going to be successful this time. I don't know what that success looked like. It didn't look like 10,000, didn't look like six figures. I just knew I was going to be successful. And I said, 90 days, I'm just going to give information that is going to be beneficial to people. I wasn't going to sell anything. I wasn't online 45 days before I sold my first thing because the demand was there for it. And so I sold what the people wanted, and it just kept growing. It just kept growing.
Kept growing and growing and growing. So how do you position? Okay, no. Before I ask that, what are your packages and your pricing for your coaching? Because I love this model and these numbers, okay?
Let me just say, these packages currently were not what I was doing then. So there's a low ticket, there's a premium, and there's a high ticket. I am now a high ticket coach. At the time, I was low ticket, and I didn't. This is what I'm going to sell it as. And so I started off low ticket with my digital services. When I moved into coaching, I was still low ticket. I had a 12-month 1 year package for
$3,000.
No, sir. It was $74, $75 a month. Your smile just Yes.
Come on now.
I started my coaching. My first coaching package I offered was like November-ish. And it was like $74 a month for 12 months. And then my upgrade for the VIP was $197 a month. And I was scared to death that nobody would buy it.
Right.
I put like 12 people maybe in the total of the two programs. And I had an epiphany and ended up in this webinar with some coach. And it was a live webinar. And they had Q&A. And I was the last person to ask a question. She's like, okay, one more question and we'll wrap it up. And I pushed the button and raised my hand. And I was like, what happens if you want to transition into making more money in your business? Mind you, I just signed these people. They hadn't even started their program yet. They were just signed. They had paid their first whatever. And she's like, you're going to have to raise your prices and tell me what your package is. And I told her, 12 months package, whatever. She said, well, you need to be doing at least, I think she told me somewhere around $5,000, something like that. And I was like, $5,000, nobody, in my brain. And I was like, okay, so what do I do with my current people? And she's like, well, you're going to have to make a hard decision. You're going to have to tell them and they can come along at a discount since they've already signed, or you're just going to lose them. Lose them? I just got these people. I'm thinking all of this. And so that day, I went on Periscope. Now, I don't necessarily recommend this, but this is what I did. I went on Periscope and I was like, I just had this great webinar meeting with the multi-millionaire coach, and she told me, you got to value yourself. You got to do more. So effective immediately, my prices are going up. Now, mind you, we're talking about $197 a month, top package. I contacted the people that had signed up, the VIP, and I told them, I made a wrong move. The price is just not going to work for a year. It's just not feasible. And so
I'm looking at your face right now nah, I was tripping.
Yeah. I was like, you have two choices. Either, I can refund you for the month you've already paid, because the program was due to start in January, and this is like November-ish, December maybe. And I said, the new price is right, $6,000.
Uh-huh.
And I could not believe it. People said yes.
Really?
People said yes.
Oh.
And I was like, oh my God.
Let's go.
A $6,000 package, not once, but twice.
Right.
And then the smaller packages, I think I closed those at like $2,500 each. And I had about 6 people. And that was a group program. And I was like, this is crazy. So I did $26,000, $202.05, I think it was. in December. The month of December was my total income, was $26,000 from just making that first $400 in the end of October.
And that's when your life changed.
That's when it changed. Yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh. So that was my package then. I don't have a 12-month, $6,000 package anymore. My last client in that program is wrapping up, December coming up. And now my packages are, I have a 6-week program for the newbie in business, and it's $1,500. We are active enrollment now. And it really is the foundational piece, because I see a lot of people missing that. We come in and we see the Lamborghinis and the Maseratis or whatever. I don't know about cars, but, all this fanciness online and these shiny, diamonds and, pool parties and on the beach and all of that may be real. I'm not saying it's not real, but it's not the reality if you're just coming online or just starting a business today. And so I really get to the core of the foundation that you need to be sustainable, because anybody can come online and make money. Making money is easy. I really believe that. Once you know how, it just is. But sustaining it for the long haul and actually having a continual business is a whole different story. So $1,500 for the 6-week program. I have an 8-week program that is $8,000. And depending on the conversation we have, that price could change to lower, especially if you move from my 6-week into my 8-week. There's some credit there. And then I have a mastermind package, which is 12 months of accountability and masterminding with a group of other successful women in business, and that package is currently $36,000. And then I do have private coaching, and that is $10K for 12 weeks. And then I do have some other stuff in my other business for affiliate income and learning that market. But those are my core packages. Okay.
And how do you structure those? Like, is it like every 6 weeks you're announcing, every 8 weeks you're announcing? What is the... Are you still on Periscope? Are you just on Facebook? Do you, what does that look like? Because I just want to help people and get them to see what a coaching model looks like.
Yes. So early in the stages, I was just kind of freestyling it, and I was launching something, seemed like every day. My current coach that I am invested with, she was like, you just don't have to launch something new all the time. It just doesn't look good. It just looks like, oh, this isn't working, so I'm going to go over here. This is working, I'm going to go. And, it was just kind of all over the place. It was working. I was making money, but I was exhausted from just launching. Like, I would almost dread launching, but it was like, you got to keep to the next thing. And that's not true, especially when you're in the higher ticket market. It's a little bit different, because you could sell one package. I could sell a 10K package and don't have to do anything for the rest of the month, technically.
Right, technically.
I could sell a 3K package and be really good for the month because of the money that I made last month. So it makes a difference on the low ticket premium or high ticket level that you're on. So no, I'm not always launching. My 6-week program, I'm doing it live this time. After this, it will be a hybrid. So it'll be a digital product with a live event on the end. But I won't be teaching it live. So that will come out every quarter. My 8-week program, we'll probably roll that out at the end of November, just because the 6-week program is kind of the baby step into the 8-week. And then my private coaching is ongoing. I only take 2 people a month in that, because it takes a lot to feed into someone one-on-one. I don't have a one-on-one business. A lot of people believe in that. I don't. And so I don't want to always be working with, multiple people. I just, it takes a lot of energy, and I'm very serious about business and what I do. And so I'll take 2 people a month for that. And then my mastermind, that's an ongoing year. I just actually closed down my mastermind that I had previous to this, which was $12,000. And I moved all of those people to one-on-one because they weren't fitting the mastermind model at the time. And not to say anything bad about them. It was just, I just saw it needed to be restructured. And so now I have a new concept for my mastermind. And so that will likely not even open for enrollment till probably January. So that's kind of my pattern. But always launching? No, not anymore. I used to do that, but no.
Okay. So like for your 6-week program, for example, is it like they can join it anytime? Or is there like a cutoff date?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Well, it'll be a hybrid after this, and I will open it once a quarter because I still have to do the actual live event on the end of it. So I'll promote it for that particular, let's say next quarter, let's just say January. I'll open it, and then they may have like 30 days to enroll. And then somewhere in that quarter, I'll do a live event for everybody that came into the program that particular quarter. But yeah, it'll be once a quarter and it's digital. And then I don't know, I might get tired of that model and just make it digital and you can enroll anytime.
Right.
But for now, it's set to be hybrid.
Got you. This is like so fascinating, just like, being able to break down this whole model because there is a science to it.
Yep.
And as I'm growing, I've seen that as well. And a lot of people don't think that there's a science to it. They think that they can just do it. And that's why they're just, they're making 400 here, 150 here. There's no science to it. Cash flow is
so important.
Right. What so now are you still on Periscope? Is that where you market to your coaching consultants too, or do they come from Facebook or?
Funny story. So I did this live stream on. I posted something on Facebook that was very controversial, and I didn't know it at the time. I had no clue. I was just being honest, and it was a post to my coach. I tagged her in it. But of course, it's Facebook. Everybody sees it. I went to Walmart. We had moved to Houston for a little bit. I live a very nomadic life, you were saying in the beginning. And so I could be anywhere for any length of time and then back up in Seattle. But we were in Houston at the time. And this was just almost 4 months ago. And I went to Walmart to get a money order to pay rent because we were actually renting a townhome while we were there because we were there for supposed to be an extended amount of time. And so it was the first of the month. Didn't realize it when I went. It didn't dawn on me. But I went to Walmart and it was so many people. It was just, oh my gosh. I'm a people person. But it was just so crowded. It was a mess. Lines were long. It was just a mess. And I got on Facebook and I'm in Walmart standing in line and I tagged my coach and I was like, I will never come to Walmart at the first of the month ever again. Just, it was just a post and it blew up. People were mad. They were angry. I was judgmental. I was thinking I was better than everyone. This is what people are saying. And I'm like, well, what the heck did y'all get from me posting that? What I realized at the time was that my audience that I was speaking to was still, not all of them, but a good core of that audience that I had built was a lower ticket audience. And when I say lower ticket, I mean like as far as what they were willing to pay and invest in things. Most of my audience shopped at Walmart. I don't have anything against Walmart. I will go to Walmart if I have to, but I prefer not to. And it has nothing to do with prices.
Right.
At all.
It's environment.
It has more to do with the quality.
Right.
People didn't get that in my post. They thought I was saying I was too good. Because, mind you, people watched me go from whatever I was charging, wherever I was in my life, this stay-at-home mom, to this growing businesswoman, up-leveling my prices. I show a lot of lifestyle because I believe in lifestyle. And so people saw me shopping and traveling and flying first class and doing these things that I had built my business up to and enabled myself to now do with my family. I was homeschooling. My husband had come home and retired from working because my business was doing so well. He actually works in the company. And so they watched my life grow and change. And so to some people, and I'm not even going to say my audience, I'm just going to say some looky-loos, some people that were watching, it became a threat. Yeah, I can't even claim them as my people. These are some other people that just wanted to watch and were fascinated by what was happening. Me not knowing, I'm just living life. I'm doing business. I'm teaching. I'm giving quality and value. And, I'm growing and just happy to have a growing, successful business. And so that Walmart post changed a lot of things. And when people started commenting on it, it was arguments all up and down the top. It was crazy. So I got on Periscope, my platform, and I made a public statement to the post and elaborated on what I meant and even responded to some of the comments that were on there, still in a very nice professional way, but a very matter-of-fact way, because I'm not going to ever apologize for going up in life. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to ever apologize for doing better and you feel in some type of way. I have people say, well, as a woman with a platform, you should be more sensitive to the people who do shop at Walmart. It was just crazy. And so that shifted something in my business and also in the platforms. Now, while I love Periscope, it is the platform that helped me grow my business. I do still get on Periscope. I do still promote over there, but it's in a different light at this point. And also, I'm very clear that Periscope has a certain core audience, not a bad thing, but all of the people who are successful on Periscope, nobody's over there selling $1,000 packages. I did it, so I know it's possible, but I don't press like that anymore. I don't even market the same anymore as what I did before. So I'm not on there just making, random offers. Everything's very strategic. I'm very, very clear on my marketing now. I wasn't before. I was just kind of doing, whatever. And so I do get on Periscope still, but I use Facebook Live a lot more. And I'm very strategic on what I position myself for and what I share, just because I know I want to bring a certain person to me. Mm-hmm. And so the language is very important. So I still do get on Periscope. I actually have 2 Periscopes, one for each business separately. But it's not the same as it was when I first got on.
Got you. Wow. You've broken down so much. Like, I really hope everybody who is looking to be a coach or, who has knowledge or specialized knowledge listens to this 19 times. Not 3 times or 4 times, 19, okay? 19. And just embody this, because this was some very, very, very good stuff, Shayla. For real. Like, your last name ain't Smart for no reason.
Right.
So where can people find you at and learn more about you?
Yes, so I am on Facebook Live. I am on Periscope. Periscope is Shayla_Smart if you're looking for coaching, consulting, or you're a service-based entrepreneur. And if you are I just want to make some money online, kind of in the background. I don't want a full-fledged business. I'm on there as The Mom Genius. That's my other Periscope. And then over on Facebook, it's the same. I have The Mom Genius Facebook group. And then for coaches, consultants, service-based entrepreneurs, it's Shayla Smart. People always say they can't find me on Facebook, but I'm pretty sure you'll find me.
Got you. Well, Shayla.
Yes.
Thank you so much
for
being on the show and breaking the science down. Like, for real. You broke everything down. And you gave everybody not one excuse to not go make $800K in 7 months.
Right.
You did the $300K in 7 months, but you gave them the information so they could go make double in the same amount of time.
I cut the learning curve.
Learning curve. That's what it's all about. So, Shayla, thank you so much for your time. You've been an amazing guest. Thank you. And we're going to have to do a part 2 in the future. Because there was so much knowledge.
Coming up.
Hey.
Anniversary.
Okay. Yeah, and we're going to have to do that. And, there was just so much information and jewels and gems and knowledge dropped. So everybody listen, I hope you got that. I hope you heard it. And with that being said, that's going to be today's show. That's going to be today's episode. So if you are a coach, listen to this again and again and again, study it and implement it, because this can change your life. So we're going to talk to you on the next show.
Thanks for listening to the Starts with a Vision podcast. Come get your vision clear at www.startswithavision.com. See you there.